Hello, welcome. We are in Genesis chapter 27, and this is the story of Esau and Jacob. Now, when Isaac became old, he called his son Esau and told him that he doesn't know how long he was going to live, so he wanted to bless his son, but asked him to go out and hunt a game for him, then prepare some food which he loves to bring to him to eat, then he would bless him before he dies. But Rebecca was listening, and she didn't want Esau to be blessed. She wanted Jacob to be blessed. So as Esau left, Rebecca said to her son Jacob that what she heard from the father, then asked the son to prepare some delicious food. But the son said, okay, that's fine, I can make the food, but how is father not going to recognize me? Because Esau is hairy, I'm not. And Rebecca said, don't worry about it, just go do your thing, I'm going to do mine. So as Rebecca made the best garment, took the best garment of Esau, the older son, and gave it to Jacob, she also took the skins of the goats that Jacob killed, so that he could prepare the food, and created a bit of the skin where he could just put part around his forearm and the neck, and then gave it all to Jacob. So when Jacob went to the father, he said, my father, and he said, here I am. And he goes like, who are you, my son? And Jacob said that, oh, I am Esau. But it looks like Isaac wasn't really convinced, because he said he did recognize that he sounded like Esau, so he asked him to touch his hand, his forearm, his arm, which he did. So he said, right, you sound like my firstborn, like my smaller son, younger son, Jacob, but it feels like you are Esau. Now, see, the question is whether he was aware of it. I mean, if you think about it, if he was 137 years old, he might have had some mental decline. But then again, it has been noted that there was no really point for Rebecca to do this subterfuge, if you will, because the blessing was going to be given to Jacob anyway. So it raises the question as who does the blessing? And yes, the father blesses the child, but it looks like the final say is the Lord's anyway. Verse 26 says, then his father Isaac said to him, come near and kiss me, my son. So he came near and kissed him, and Isaac smelled the smell of his garments and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's son bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. Now when Isaac finished Jacob left, and then Esau enters the scene, who just came back from hunting. He prepares the delicious food, goes to his father. Then verse 32 says, his father Isaac said to him, who are you? He answered, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Then Isaac trembled very violently and said, who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate it all before you came, and I have blessed him. Yes, and he shall be blessed. Which means blessings cannot be revoked. You cannot unbless someone. So as soon as Esau heard this, he was bitter. And he wanted his father to bless him as well. But Jacob said, I can't do this because your brother has taken away all the blessings, and it looks like only one person could be blessed. And Esau said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has cheated me These 2 times he took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. So what is interesting here is, if you remember, Jacob didn't take away the blessing. It was Esau who gave it to him. Now, as to whether it could be something that could be given away is another matter. But in any case, he was wrong, because he gave it away for virtually nothing. He could have eaten, he could have waited, he could have had some fruits or whatever. No, he just smelled the food, and he wanted to satisfy his desires that came on him. He instantly wanted to satisfy his desires, and that was the end. And I'm pretty sure Jacob did not forget about it. But Isaac was pressed by his son Esau to give him blessings. So Isaac says, "Behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers I have given to him for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?" Esau said, "Have you but one blessing, my father? Bless me also." And the father proceeded to bless him and said, "Behold, away from the fatness of the earth shall your dwelling be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. But by your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck." And now Esau really, really hated Jacob, because the blessing was given to him. And he said that once the mourning period ends, he was going to kill his brother. But Rebekah learned of his plan and told Jacob to run away to Laban, to her brother in Haran. And verse 46 is interesting, because I mentioned it yesterday. It looks like it was mentioned at the end of the previous chapter that the 2 girls Esau married were going to give a lot of grief to Isaac and Rebekah. And here Rebekah said to Isaac, "I loathe my life because of the Hittite woman. If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me?" So as you can see, it looks like that Rebekah did not appreciate the choices of his son. And probably she did not appreciate the choice of his son to give away the firstborn right. And the other thing is, those girls, by the looks of it, gave a lot of grief to them. So it looks like Rebekah did not think that he was fit to receive the blessing. And this is what happened to the Jews as well. If you look, they literally had no faith. If you look at the gospel, there were many places where Jesus couldn't. And it was interestingly those who had the highest education, many of those rejected him. They had no faith in him. And those who did, they were the ones to receive him. And even Paul talks about the blessing, that the blessing was given to us, Gentiles. In any case, I think what we have to be careful about is how we live our life, to live according to the Lord. Because you could see in the Bible that many tried to bring about the will of the God by earthly means. And I don't know what would have happened if Isaac had blessed Esau, because it never happened. It would have been interesting to know what would have happened then. But in any case, as we could see, the story continues, and it's the younger one who receives the blessing, not the older one. Similarly, it's us Christians, Gentiles, who receive the blessing, which was forfeited by the Jews. But again, the Jews are still going to be blessed according to Paul. Amen.